Sweet Livity, which will be 10 years old in August, our work is really about supporting leaders, the spaces where they lead, to be spaces where people can show up as their full authentic self, and do good work in the world without sacrificing their health or well-being, their happiness or their finances. And so our work sits at the intersection of organizational effectiveness, because at the end of the day, we only work with values aligned groups that, we really believe in the mission of their group to change the world, honestly, for the better. And so they have to win. Like, they actually have to fulfill that mission. Felt undeserving. Why should people invest in me? Um, I'm being too self-centered to think about people supporting what I'm doing. And then I think that I had a coach in my brain. My first business coach happened to be a white cisgender man. And we still stay in touch. He's no longer my business coach, but he was the one who discouraged me from fundraising or getting any kind of capital for my business, because I asked about that very early on before I even launched. He was like, no, don't do that. Just make money through your business. Just get those contracts. So it's so interesting that the workaholism that I had from childhood, that started in my school years and then went onto my workplaces working for other people, then I ended up having that same workaholism, like just get as much business as we could get and make money that way. So I think that just that message carried with me. And it wasn't until about maybe 5 years ago, I was part of a group with other women business owners. And when I heard the conversation around the disparities around investment in women business owners versus men, and then that it was more often women business owners who were told not to raise capital, not to raise money, like just make money through your business. I was like, oh, wow, okay. So that kind of hit a ping in my heart, like, oh, okay, I was one of those people who was told that. But it started opening my mind to something different. And I think what really captivated my imagination was going back to the principles of Kwanzaa was, well, what would it look like to collectively do it together versus doing it by myself? I joined because I was at a place where I was like, okay, I have a block in my brain and in my heart around fundraising. And there was something about the way you were talking, Ismi, in your materials about challenging a lot of the assumptions around fundraising and like this idea of looking at alternative ways of raising money. So I was like, I would like support. Like, I deserve support at this time in my life and in the trajectory of the business to get support to really figure it out. So I think it was like coming at a time where I was also building more, I think, internal commitment and will to like figure out how to raise money and not just focus on generating contracts. So the first piece was the core team I work with, we started looking at how we were pricing our work. So we actually did start with what we already do. And we started to, I was so appreciative that during the time I was in the course, we had a year of data from the time tracking on all of our work, including asking all of our vendors to use the same system. So like all our contractors, et cetera. That helped us better understand the value we were providing and also how much it cost. So we actually then changed our business model, started pricing differently, and then using the funds from the profit to start to think about having a pool of money to pay an internal team to do fundraising, like to learn about and do fundraising, like to see fundraising not as like maybe not only as like a role that certain team members would take on, but to really consider ourselves as our number one client and that the resource mobilization, as we call it, required just as much care and attention as the external work of serving clients. So that was a big shift. And so there's now a team that's come together, the resource mobilization team. Actually, they call themselves resource mobilization and storytelling, because we've also recognized the importance of telling our story when raising money. And I think for various reasons, me included, we were shy to tell our story and be vulnerable when asking for money for what we do.